might just take it to what the grandma was saying.
Yeah.
The grandma was basically saying that she's using her white privilege to get on this show, to even have access to know somebody, to talk to them, to get that information out there. There's that. Grandma also said that regardless if she's on the show or not to explain her story or whatever, she's gonna recover from this.
Yeah, it won't matter.
Yeah, it won't matter. Like whatever job she's gonna apply for later in the future, whatever she's going after,
they will not care.
They want to as public as it was, they're not gonna care that it went all this way. Like that she didn't earn her way into that school.
Right.
Guess what? There are a shitload of people who don't earn their way into school. Yeah. It's all alumni connect and sorority, fraternity, or shit like that.
Right.
So no one's gonna care, and I can't help, after I heard what she had to say, I didn't want to hear anything the other two had to say. I was just like, yeah, she's completely right. They don't need to give her any platform, nothing like that, unless they have something in their head saying, this is going to be big for us.
That's where I was going to go with it. And because from that clip, it seemed like Willow was way more on her grandma's side.
She was just chill about it.
Yeah, but she kept agreeing with what her grandma was saying. Mm-hmm. It seemed like Jada was the one that was more pushing for this to happen.
Right.
And let's be honest, at the end of the day, it is her show.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt that way. And this is why I see it as she used them and they used her. Because if you're looking at this from a business standpoint, this girl hasn't spoke on this, right? And maybe for whatever reason she can't, or, certain outlets don't want to have her go right now and whatever. Who knows, right? Especially when, how do you put on something like this when right now we're going through this whole presidential transition, COVID shit? It's will that be a big headline for these big news outlets? Probably not. But for these entertainment outlets, a little different. And if you're Jada Pinkett Smith and you run, this is your show, and this is still a business at the end of the day, you look at that and you're like, we could have her first, I guess, expose or her first words on this whole situation. We're going to get the good and bad press from it. And, a lot of people say that, when you get that famous, all press is good press. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad or whatever. As long as they're talking about you, you're making an impact. So I see that. From a business standpoint, I feel like Jada, she put her own personal feelings aside and was like, okay, little white girl, you want to try to use us? We're going to use you too.
Right, and then she used the excuse, the reason she gave on that clip is the media training. This is what we have to say to get her on here and for you to be accepting of her being on this show kind of shit. Because everything she was saying, the whole, I don't want... people to be treated the way we were treated.
Yeah, I feel like that was bullshit.
Yeah, because I'm like, no. That whole, we want to be treated the same kind of shit, that happens way later on once our people have, somewhat of I don't know, a big old egg or something.
Yeah.
Kind of shit. I don't know if that's an analogy or a metaphor or whatever. But, we have to have a lot in order for, okay, now, in turn, we can... be accepting of the white people that need to come on here to explain their story. Now we could treat them with the civility that wasn't given to us for so many years.
Right. And I just look at situations like this throughout history when it comes to any black entertainer or athlete or whoever. They don't even have to be famous. But any black person that gets into a situation that's public, it's so hard for them to... defend themselves in the media because...
or to come back from if it's not true.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially, I would say probably the worst that have it is women. Because, a black woman gets called something in the media, there can be zero truth to it.
Example, I don't know if you saw the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special.
Yeah.
They had the original Aunt Viv on it, and I guess Will called her difficult. And she was like... that one single word being called difficult was a kiss of death for her in Hollywood. After that, she could barely get any work.
What was your... I know this is kind of going off topic, but what was your feelings on that reunion?
I thought it was dope. It felt really nostalgic while giving us some insight into how it really was in that show. And when they gave insights to how it really was on the show, you realize like, oh shit, this is why it was as big as it was.
Right.
Because in normal TV and film, actors don't have the power to be like, no, we got to change this line. Mm-hmm. We got to change here, unless it's like an improvised thing and it's like cool, but they can't be like, no, you got to change this whole thing because this isn't how it would be said in real life.
Right.
And they did. They were like, no, this would never be said in a black family.
Right.
And they had fun with it and did all this shit. So I thought it was cool.
I thought like it was dope up until the original Aunt Viv, sit down with her and Will. And then my only issue with that was I felt like, and this is for everyone. Everyone, I want you to, if you haven't seen it, go see it. But when you watch that part, she admits, that she attacked Will and everything for, what she felt like she was being blackballed and everything like that, and she apologized. But I've seen that reunion twice. I saw that part dozens of times. I can't find one part where he admitted any fault in what he did. I don't hear him ever apologize. I don't hear him ever say like, you know what, my bad.
I want to say it's editing,
right.
I didn't see that, but then there was that part where he explains himself that back then his whole thing was driven by fear and insecurities, and that's why he couldn't like really figure out what she was going through to see what was going on. Right,
but see,
I think that was like the only
admittance.
To like possibly saying sorry.
And that was my issue, because I'm like, you can't keep. It's like you're dancing around it, and you're giving background as to why this happened, but you're not saying like, yeah, I was the one who, like, and that was my only issue with it, because I'm like, man, look, this is dope. Kudos to you for bringing her on and like, getting everyone back to reconcile and talk about the show and James Avery. Super dope.
Yeah, I cried a little bit during that part. James Avery.
But it was just that part to me, because I was like, I feel like it's so easy and it's been years to be like, sorry. Right. Like you could have just said it, bro. Like especially when you knew what happened to her. It wasn't like she was like, oh, I lost this show and I had a rough few years, but I bounced back. It was like, no, she lost this show and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. And I guarantee you now that, publicly she's seen as cool by Will Smith and everything now. I guarantee you, if she's still acting, I don't know if she even wants to act anymore, but if she starts getting roles or whatever, I would feel so pissed off. Because then that just, it verifies that, yeah, he was a dick. And he was the one that was like, nah.
He was gatekeeping.
Yeah, he was just like, nope, not her. And especially because people think, every time stuff like this comes up, they always go, so you think Will Smith was really going to all her castings? It was like, don't cast her. No, of course not. That's dumb. However, all the people who aspire to work with this nigga, or who have like a 6 degrees of separation, like, oh yeah, I did this, but also this person's doing this, and they might hear about this. We just talked about this off camera, but like, if you ever want to be in the entertainment industry, there's a lot of that. And you don't want to have to, from the things I've saw, like, people have egos, people have certain type of things, and they'll play to certain people that aren't even involved in something, just to one day get a look and be like, hey, give me a shot. I did this and that. And that old Aunt Viv, she tried out for that, but I said fuck her, because I know, and it might not even be true. He might be like, no, that was like years ago, bro. You didn't have to do that, but.
Yeah, everything's run through like rumors and what you hear, because unless you're in that inner circle, exactly, for those specific people, you're never going to truly know. Right. So might as well hedge your bets and be like, no, we never cast her so that we could stay in your favor.
Right. We've talked about Dame Dash on the show a couple times, but, in hip-hop, they always talk about Dame Dash is blackballed because of his relationship with Jay-Z. Right? Jay-Z has never come out publicly and said, I've done anything like that. And I guarantee, once again, he probably hasn't. Right? However, if Jay-Z is such this huge figure in this industry that you want to be in, right? And you know that the certain places that you have to go, you're going to have to go through him some way or some shape or form. Would you really want to have a chance to piss him off, especially Especially, let's say, like, oh yeah, you give Dame Dash an interview, and on this interview, you guys bring up Jay-Z because he's a part of Dame Dash's history, and Dame Dash goes on a whole 30-minute rant shitting on Jay-Z, and you put it out.
Right.
Jay-Z ain't gonna say like, oh man, fuck this dude. He's gonna say fuck him and fuck the people who put that out.
Yep.
So like I know those conversations are had. It's like we'll never know about it because we're just regular people. There. Yeah, until we're there, and then we're gonna do all that shit. No. Oh, this person ain't liked over here. But
yeah, we're not gonna have Dame Dash on.
It's
confirmed that Jay-Z will hate us.
Jay-Z will fuck with us. But like that shit goes on, and all I wanted to hear from him was like, "Yo, I'm sorry." Like, you don't gotta admit to anything. You can just be like, "I'm sorry that you went through that." Even that, you know,
like I'm sorry that you feel that way. Shit.
Right.
Yeah, I wanna say it's editing, and they cut out that part where he actually says it, or they have that moment of saying it to each other. But yeah, hopefully, if to make Will look even better,
right?
You know, he would have to put her in something like a project that he's doing, which would be so easy for him to do.
I know, that's why. Like I said, we'll wait and see, but that was just my thoughts on that. But to go back to the Red Table Talk.
Right, so black women kissed to death, you can't work in Hollywood no more. So until that is no longer an issue, really, or it's rare, you know, to say that about a black woman and it to go so harsh, we can't do the thing of like, oh, I don't want her to have to go through that. Right. It's like, no, because she's not.
Exactly.
She's not going to, the Olivia Jade? Yeah. Olivia Jade's not going to go through anything close to what the OG on Viv did. Nope. Or has gone. Nope. So I get the play. Like it's different enough from everything going on. It's distraction from politics. It's COVID, the vaccine shit.
It was trending.
Yeah, exactly. It was trending. It worked. So I can't be mad at Jada because from a business standpoint, us being podcasters, I do the same thing. Exactly. I would do the same thing. Olivia Jade, if you want to come on, go ahead. But God, the ground was just making so much sense.
She was man.
I was just like, I'm with her on it. But business wise,
eating Jada's ass on that, and I was just like, I get it, but also
family ass eating.
Hey. I get it, but like we said, the business aspect of it, I'm like, when someone's throwing you a lob, it's like you gotta dunk it. Like even if you know that it's like this is bullying, but I'm still gonna dunk this because it's too easy.
So right now on the grandma side, but if they when she's on, when Olivia Jade's on the Red Table Talk, if they softball it to her and they treat her like a baby so that she feels good and safe and all that stuff for all the stuff that went on, right? I'm gonna be even more pissed. Because right now, that's the chance to, like, put it to the fucking, to the grill and put it under that heat and see what happens. Because if you put it under that heat, the truth is gonna come out and it's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck what, like, all that shit. Like, I'd do it again. Even if I did know, I'd do all that shit again. Take all that shit. Right. You know, that's what I feel like her real feelings are.
I think because, she was on it, we're going to say right here, we haven't seen the whole Red Table Talk because we know the story. There's no need, there's no need for us to go deep into that shit.
And when you don't like something, really, you don't support it by not watching it.
That easy, right? But the main quote that keeps going around is freaking, she says, I don't need to be pitied or I don't want anyone to pity me and everything like that. And I was like, that quote right there is her privilege is showing. Yeah,
because if that was true, then you would just be quiet.
Exactly. Just take the L. Yep. Take the L, man. Just sit in it and then, resurface like a year or so later and then whatever, right? But you choose to come out and try to you want to give your side of there is no your side of the story. Like, there's nothing you can talk about that makes this make any sense. And I saw a couple of clips where she was like, she was oblivious. She didn't know. And I'm like, you didn't know that, one, your grades did not get you into this school. Two, you were on, I think she was captain of her, row team, and you don't even row. I'm like, so how do you not know?
And that excuse, the whole, I didn't know what was going on, only works maybe up until middle school, right? When you're that old, whatever age that is. But after that, you kind of know what's going on in your parents' life and what they're doing for you.
Right, and that's why, because we talked about that whole situation when it happened, and I understand the aspect from her parents because it's like you want your kids to go to the best school to have this. And I'll say this if I haven't said it before: college is strictly a status thing. It has nothing to do with actual skill or intelligence, unless you're doing something intelligent with your degree. But most of that shit, like college, literally is basically a whole crash course in networking. Just get to know people, graduate, and then once you fucking leave the school, the people that you know can get you jobs, houses, apartments, clothes, like all. That's basically all it is, right? So she put her at USC to network with people, to get a degree, and also when she now goes to apply for jobs and shit and all this stuff, that looks very good on your resume that you went here, here, and here, and you know this person, and cool, and now you're in. Because I'll never blame her parents for like being in the wrong, because I feel like, I think we said this before when we did that episode, if you had the money, you would do the same thing too. Yeah. Like to sit here and say you wouldn't, you're full of shit.
Yeah, I would say we blame the system that let her get off so easy with nothing, like just a slap on the wrist. Right. Compared to what us minorities go through when the same shit happens. That's the only thing. Right. Because who's not gonna like set their kid up for the best?
Like you'd be crazy to be like, nah, or I would do this and that, and I'm quite sure if this clip ends up an actual IG clip or anything like that, or if people hear it and they'll comment on it. I guarantee you'll get some. No, I want my child to learn the meaning of blah 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 and all this shit, whatever.
Yeah, cool. That's cool in theory, and that sounds good in theory, and it makes you sound like a good person. But everyone knows that once the situation's in front of you, actually in reality in front of you, shit changes. It was that movie Tenet. In one of the commercials, they kept saying like, "Oh, we all like to believe that we would run into the burning building, but we never know until we feel that heat."
Yeah.